Okay,
You may start, Jeff.
yep, thanks. Bill, do you have, I'm looking for the agenda. Do you happen to have the roll call
Yes,
already?
I do. I do.
Okay. Did we get any communications from anybody from Deep?
No.
No. Okay, Dick? No? You're muted, Dick.
How's that?
That's beautiful. Did you hear anything from Deep?
In regard to what?
Anything?
No.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
I don't know if all of us received this, but I received a communication from Ms. Jones, and in it was an attachment from Deep to the Wilson Point Norwalk Yacht Club.
but it wasn't to us.
Oh, that's what this is about? Okay.
Well, if we're talking about communication in regards to the Mayor's Water Quality Committee, this is it.
I'll discuss it during old business.
Okay,
Okay.
Department of Agriculture, Steve, and I don't see Jeff. Jeff said he was gonna sign in.
Yeah,
Did
he's
you hear
calling in.
anything?
No, sir.
Okay. The Department of Health, Bill, anything on your horizon?
Nothing right now, Joe, no.
Okay. And the Harbor Commission, Jeff or John Crespo?
I wasn't there last month.
Okay,
Yeah, so I couldn't. We can wait for Jeff if you like.
okay. And Planning and Zoning, did anybody hear anything from them?
No.
Okay. Let's go to old business. Any comments about the Save the Sound presentation? Diane?
Yes, I'm very happy that we had Peter Linderoff there. It gave me more insight as to their process. But I do think I come from both sides of the aisle, both as a consultant for, at times, polluters that I try to help clean up their act, but also as on the advocacy side. And I believe that this particular entity, like many before it, I think that it is a good thing that they have something like a report card. Of course, we do want it to be reflective of real time. The thing that I most was concerned about, I wouldn't want the public to think that many of us on this committee do not understand the different ways that impervious surfaces can cause polluted runoff and low oxygen. It's not only a natural event, I believe, up in that region of the city. I think a lot of it is man-made, if you will, or due to a lot of impervious surfaces and other problems related to stormwater. So, I just want to put that on the record. And I really am pleased that there is a group like Save the Sound that is attempting to illustrate and educate about these topics. Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, Diane, you wanted to bring something, Steve?
Just a point of order, Mr. Chairman. Jeff is in as an attendee. I'm wondering if the moderator could bring him in as a participant. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, Jeff, very quickly,
Yeah.
anything you want to share with us in regards to the Harbor Commission?
Well, we have no information on the status of the Eversource project to relocate the electric lines. And it was Monday, I testified, if that's the right word, on a bill before the Environment Committee. Although I didn't drive to Hartford, I waited at the computer from 10 a.m. to 5:45 to speak for 3 minutes in support of a bill drafted by the Environment Committee that would clarify the authorities of the Harbor Management Commission with respect to acting on deep applications for deep permits, and also making clear that DEEP must consider the recommendations of the Harbor Management Commission, and if they take a course different than what the Harbor Commission recommends, then DEEP has to show cause in writing. So that was a long day, but only a few comments. There were only 3 comments having to do with that bill. All the other comments of the 180 plus speakers, including Louise, who, to her credit, waited, and I think until after 7 o'clock to be able to speak on her matters. But so now we'll hopefully that bill will pass, and it will make clear, not changing anything, just making clear what the Harbor Commission's authorities are. That's there was another one other comment too, and we're going to raise it at the Shellfish Commission meeting. At the Norwalk River Watershed Initiative meeting, there was a presentation by a guy from the Natural Resources Conservation Service, the federal agency that used to be the Soil Conservation Service. And they're engaged in just like soil samples and on land, they're mapping subaqueous or coastal soils. And so they're going to be working off of Fairfield County this coming year, and we're going to ask them to take some borings south of Veterans Park, because that's the area that the Shellfish Commission and the Harbor Commission have in mind for a shellfish pilot project for enhancing oyster habitat, planting oysters and seeing what the impacts are of that. So that's something we're going to be asking the NRCS to do, specifically south of Veterans Park. Probably some other things that I'll think of later, but thank you, Joe.
Yep. Appreciate it, Jeff.
Mr. Chairman, I have a quick question for Jeff about the NRCS. I missed the NRWI meeting. May I ask him?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hey, Jeff, interesting. I missed the meeting, but I'm going to check the minutes and all. For the NRCS subaqueous testing, how many sites is NRCS willing to do in Norwalk, and who is deciding where those locations for the borings are?
Well, I'm assuming that they are deciding, Diane. I don't know how many sites that they can do, because they're doing it all along. Last year, I guess they mapped areas in eastern Connecticut, and so as I said, this coming season they'll be off of Fairfield County. How many sites they're going to do, I don't know. But what we're trying to do is get them to influence them to take at least a few south of Betts Park. But I don't know how many they're going to take and what they're. But I'm assuming they plan that themselves. But I have the name of the person, and I can send you the email to the link to their website. It's a question to ask of them. But I don't really know the answers to your question. Just that we're going to try to influence them to take a few off of Betts Park in the inner part of Norwalk Harbor. We also suggested that they might want to plan their because in addition to doing the grain size, they're also testing for some contaminants. I forget which ones, but that they might want to try to pick sites that are near bridges to see if they can detect highway pollutants that may, such as years ago we're off of underneath the Yankee Doodle Bridge. But I don't know. I haven't communicated with the guy yet. Just we raised it at the NR Norwalk River Watershed Initiative meeting.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, the reason I mention it is since Norwalk is has an industrial legacy and some well-known locations up and down the harbor, I will look into with the NRWI staff person and Jeff's emailed reference. I'd just like to check out any potential other sites. I think it's terrific to have a site, some borings south of Vets Park, but there might be other locations that will also be informative to NRCS. So thank you for that answer.
Diane, the discussion led us to point that out to him already. So he's aware of that fact. And he's also aware of the fact, and we're aware of the fact that I think there were 3 sites south of the Washington Street Bridge. One was in the mud flat off of Vets Park. One was off of Peach Island. And then the other one was more towards the outer harbor. But he said he would be open to other sites. And if Jeff is going to send you the link, he also said that his presentation would be available online. So you could probably also get that there too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
I have another item, just a brief item for the old business when you're ready, Mr.
go
Chairman.
ahead.
Okay. What I'm asking right now is that as I asked in January, and of course it was too late, but I asked that at our next meeting that we have on the agenda item, just a wrap up and follow up of the Wilson Point water quality matter. There have been letters and most recently email related to some findings by the Department of Energy and Environmental. But the reason I wanted to bring it up, and I would like this to be on the agenda, so I will not have, because I did ask last year, but I know that last meeting we were very busy with Mr. Linderoth. I understood that, but it did not appear on this agenda. So I asked in the April agenda, maybe in celebration of Earth Month, that we take a look at this just to do a what have we learned. I do believe that this could be instructive for future complaints we may get from others. I put forth some suggestions on how we could have handled this particular issue, in my opinion, a little more effectively and efficiently. But I would like this, Mr. Chairman, to be on the agenda as a member of the committee.
I think everybody here got the letter. And the big question is this an area that we wish to get into? And I think we should vote on that. But since the letter had 76 pages worth of information and it was just delivered yesterday, I don't know if everybody had a good chance to read it thoroughly.
No,
No,
So in due respect, I am not asking that this be on the agenda tonight.
Right.
The letter that I referenced was actually sent, a different letter was sent in January. And that is why I asked that that letter be put, and that we have an agenda item next meeting in April about just, it could be titled status of Wilson Point and, yacht club. Just a status report. And in it, I would like to present how I believe we can utilize this learning lesson for future anywhere else in the city, but especially coastal areas. I don't believe, I'm not asking that we litigate it. I'm not asking that we don't give permits, but we are an advisory group and we advise our city, our mayor, and our council. So I believe there is lessons to be learned, and there have been some changes in that particular situation. And I just ask that, and I ask again, that this be made an agenda item for our April meeting. And I really don't understand why we couldn't discuss the status and move on. That is my point. Because we have received information. There have been some very notable discoveries that have to do directly with water quality, which is our purview as an advisory body. And so and I don't believe we have to vote on when someone requests an agenda item. That is highly unusual, that this is so unusual to request an agenda item. I know some other members of this fine body have asked you at the last minute to put things on the agenda. I am happy to wait till April to give everyone a chance to read something that we received most recently that included the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection notice of violation that included water quality related discoveries. So I'm happy to wait till April, but I asked that it be put on the agenda in April. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments under old business? Excellent. Okay, under new business. Diane had several suggestions for the MS4 to be sent to the Department of Public Works. And what I'm asking at this point, how many would be in favor of having Diane send those on to the DPW and putting the Mayor's Water Quality Committee vote behind that? Any comments? Any thoughts?
Joe, this is Jeff.
Yep.
Diane, were your comments the ones in the purple color? Or
No, Jeff,
all?
it's a separate document about MS4, and I presented, it was an attachment. I wasn't aware that we were going to have this discussion, but I do think, Mr. Chairman, that it's very good that we send on something to the Department of Public Works. Vanessa Valadares is a very open-minded new chief of that division. If people have not read that attachment yet, maybe we could postpone till next month, but thank you for that thought. I would love to see this, some of those be forwarded to the decision-making bodies.
Any other comments? John?
Yeah, Diane, have you sent those out, those comments?
Yes,
sorry.
I sent it to everyone. I think it was in January, but I could send it again.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
looked and I was searching for them and well, anyway, maybe it was my mistake that I couldn't find it. There are two email addresses that you had, Diane, right?
Yeah, I do my water quality business usually through my Gmail account. So look under
that's what I was looking
MS4
for.
recommendations, but I will, Mr. Chairman, if you want me to, I'll be happy to send those on again. I know you have them, so I don't know who does not have them. So do you want me to?
I have them.
Okay,
Would you be able to resend, Diane, if you don't mind?
sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
If the chairman wants me to, I will do it.
Yeah, do it.
Why not?
It's not my decision as to, what information is
Yeah.
shared with the group here.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if not that, then moving on to the recommendations. And I hope I sent everybody the most recent set of recommendations. And it should begin, let's see. Bill, do you have that by any chance? And can you put it up on the screen?
Joe, is the final draft included number 17, the stormwater authorities? Is that
Yes.
the last draft?
That's it.
Okay.
that was a recommendation from you as well as Louise.
Yeah, thank you.
And I thought it was an extremely valid recommendation. Okay,
you-
what I did is I took last year's and I kept most of last year's there. But I pointed out in the beginning that we're down 3 committee members from the previous year and encourage replacement of them. But going right to the recommendations, the first recommendation I have is there's a national concern for the presence of PFAS and PFOS and related chemicals in drinking water, streams, and bays. Does anybody have a problem with that being number 1?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
okay, the version that we have, I know John Crespo put some good grammatical changes in red, and then there are just some, I don't know if you have Grammarly, there are some spelling.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
John took care of me there.
No, there was one that I missed.
recommendations.
It's misspelled.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, hey, none of us are,
I
professional
understand. That's why I sent it out.
typists. Um,
Joe,
in-
this is Jeff. Joe, just briefly, quickly up front, are these intended to be in order of priority?
No,
Okay.
but they are
I think we need to
somewhat in
make
an
that
order
clear.
of our concern. And I think everybody in this group thinks that the health and well-being of people in Norwalk are critical. And the PFAS and PFOS is getting more and more attention. And that's why I put it
I think-
number 1.
Well, I think you should make clear then that may be our priority recommendation, but as you go through the list, there are some that I think, we don't want to prioritize over others. But if there are a few that you think are most important, that would be appropriate, I think.
Well, which would you prefer to have up there, Jeff?
Well, I'm calling in. That's the problem. I can't see. I looked at all the recommendations and I thought that I had a couple of suggestions for 2 additions. As far as priority, I didn't assign priority to them.
Mr. Chairman, I think what
Yes.
Jeff is saying is, why don't we add a sentence just before the recommendation section that says not necessarily in particular priority, or just to let the readers know that we have not prioritized one over another?
That can be done.
Yeah.
That was my point. As long as I'm talking, the 2 that I was suggesting to add is to add a recommendation. You have something in there having to do with floodplain development, and that I thought we might want to add to support or endorse the Connecticut Coastal Management Act policies to avoid development that would significantly increase residential density in the coastal floodplain. That was one suggestion I had, and I think last year, maybe I missed it, but I think we also want to include that the committee would provide a continuing forum for people who have interests or concerns that they wish to bring to the attention of the committee, so that at the monthly meetings of the committee, there would be an opportunity for public comments and public concerns to be expressed. Those are my 2 additions, the suggested additions.
I think I can pull up the recommendations if you want me to put them up.
Thanks, I would appreciate it.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah,
I'd like to make a recommendation that you put a deadline on this thing and make it. This is gonna keep flopping around on the deck like a fish if we don't do that.
oh, I agree.
Are you able to see it or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you are seeing it? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Yep.
that's John's
Fine.
version. Yep,
All right, just let me know. I'll leave it there for now. Scroll down when you like me to.
okay. And Jeff, what did you want to see different?
Just those 2 that I mentioned, that the support for the coastal management policy is to avoid increased residential density development in the coastal floodplain. And I forget whether you had this or not, but if you didn't, I wanted to add a recommendation to continue to provide a public forum for people to come to the committee meetings and express concerns or ideas having to do with water quality.
Yeah, I like that addition.
Okay, can you put that in writing and send it off to me?
Yes.
As a point of order, is that a motion also, Jeff?
To add those two recommendations to the list.
Yes.
Do we need a
That's
motion?
My suggestion.
I don't know if we need one, but I think it might be advisable while we're together.
Good thought, Steve.
Yes, so moved. I'll make a motion that those 2 points are added.
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay. So Jeff,
So we have to say aye, everyone.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that was easy.
Mr. Chairman, I have a suggestion for a tweaking of number 15.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll read it. Currently it's written, identify, map, and resolve ongoing pollution concerns for both I guess, public and private drinking water resources. I want to suggest either I would rather encompass both surface. So I suggest the following change. Identify, map, and resolve ongoing pollution concerns for both surface and drinking water resources and potential leakage into the harbor.
Harbor.
You might want to change drinking water to groundwater to be more encompassing.
Well, we get our resources, as you know, our drinking water from both out of town surface water, but it mixes with our one water company that has, and I guess, you know, we want this to be informative to our readers who are laymen. So I don't think we should limit it to groundwater.
It's just,
Well, doesn't public and private drinking water resources cover that?
Or we can include the word, I just think we should include surface water as well. Because surface water can be, and our salt water, our surface waters, both fresh water and salt water, can be contaminated, as we know, due to leaching from old landfills, things of that sort.
I would agree with you, Diane.
So delete public and private drinking water resources and put surface and groundwater resources.
No, surface and drinking water resources. That can be both surface and groundwater. Just because of the facts of where we're getting our drinking water from in Norwalk, and we are part of a watershed, and that includes surface water and groundwater. And the private drinking water wells are a combination of different types of geologic units. So instead of getting in the weeds with this, I'm just suggesting we keep it simple and put down drinking water sources.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, done. Any other suggestions?
Joe, sorry for talking when you can't see me again. But I checked off before I'm in the car now, but there is a recommendation to continue to advance the policy, the water quality related provisions of the Norwalk Harbor Management Plan and the Norwalk Shellfish Plan.
Yes.
Those, okay, I just want to just confirm that's an
Support
important one.
continuation of the Norwalk Harbor Management Commission and the NSCS Storm Drain Sampling and Testing Program, including sampling and testing of additional drains, support development of memorandum of agreement among the NHMC and NSC, Norwalk Health Department, Harbor Watch concerning the use of all funds provided to Harbor Watch by the NHMC.
Yeah,
NCS.
that's the testing program, but the actual policies and the goals, the city goals for having to do with stormwater management and other water quality goals. Those, we pulled them out, remember, out of the harbor management plan. So I think those need to be referenced specifically, that the committee, because that was the committee's job right at the beginning, to work to advance the harbor management plan goals for protecting and enhancing water quality. And there's a whole bunch of them.
I think
I
that
think
makes
you had
sense. Yeah,
You
to
had
have,
that,
yeah.
yeah, you had that in there. We made an attachment of those too. You know, it can be attached by reference to this statement. Because those are the city's formal, you know, those were adopted by the Common Council when they adopted the harbor management plan. So those are formal city goals for protecting and enhancing water quality. And part of the reason for doing that is to protect and enhance shellfish resources.
Mr. Chairman, I think this is so important, and we don't know who will be running the city in years to come, that this, that this be added as a separate item. I think that would be really important to show support. I make a motion.
Okay, can somebody put it in writing and get it to me?
Yeah, I did, Joe. I'll do it again. And we also had that in the attachment, which just broke out the Harbor Management Commission, or the Harbor Management Plan goals, objectives, and policies having to do with water quality. I'll send that over when I get back later tonight.
Okay. Because I do want to get this out.
I'll second Diane's motion.
Thank you, Steve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any other comments about this? Or any other?
One minor comment, Joe. The last
for it.
line in recommendations for number 1 for PFAS. The last sentence reads, this is keep bouncing around. This is a health issue as the chemicals are stored. It should be in the human body for up to 8 years.
Oh,
I
it's
think
not
that
just,
needs to be in there.
it's not just the human body.
Well,
And we know that, Dick, and that's why I wanted to leave that open, but it has not been proven in shellfish. And it's talking to the Department of Aquaculture, they don't want to do this right now because of the cost. So if
just a recommendation. It doesn't make much sense. It could be stored anywhere in a closet.
stored how about in a body?
Right, for up to periods of up to 8 years.
Okay, well, there's evidence that it's longer than that.
I'm reading 8 years.
Okay. John?
Joe, yes, can you say this is a health issue as these chemicals bioaccumulate
Yes,
and
that's
have
good.
been linked to cancer?
That's fine.
That's more accurate.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other suggestions?
One more comment,
Go ahead, John.
Joe, real quick, in the one that I printed out, has number 17, which says develop a stormwater authority. That was dropped?
No, that came from Diane and Louise, and there are communities that are developing a stormwater authority, and their sole mission is working with stormwater, but it also makes us a community more applicable to getting certain grants.
Mr. Chairman, maybe Louise and I should send you and give us a date certain, like Mr. Dick Harris said, a deadline. We'll send you more language that just explains what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it only says this and then it just drops it. It should be more
Yes.
detailed. Of course.
And it will say something to the effect, encourage the city to potentially create a stormwater authority, blah, 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 blah.
Do this, do that. Yeah, right.
Okay, here's my feeling right now. I have been asking for these things for months, not weeks, not days, months. So I want to get this out by April 1. And not as an April Fool's joke. So it can't go on. Because the more you think about it, you're going to add on and add on and add on. The more we add on, the less people will read it, the longer this gets. So get it to me. I'll put it on. But this goes out April 1st, with or without your blessings.
Mr. Chairman,
Diane?
as you know, we voted on the additions, so that's something. But also, if you would just give us till like Monday, so that we can forward to you, or some other date certain, that any of us that are still helping you wordsmith, that we could get it to you by a certain date, like Mr. Harris had said. I think that would be very helpful for the whole effort. April 1st is too late. We want to get it to you before April 1st.
Well, then get it to me before April 1st.
Yeah.
Any other comments? If none, there was nothing else on the agenda except the last two minutes, last 2 minutes from January 5 and February 2. But before we get to that, any public comments? Anybody out there?
No, it doesn't look like it, Joe.
Okay. Then let's start with January 5. Did you download that and have any changes? Diane's nodding her head, so she's got changes.
No, I wanted to say I did download it and I read it.
Okay, so we're good.
Looks good to
Good.
me.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the minutes from January 5?
So move.
Okay, second? All in favor?
Second,
Okay, that's accepted. And how about February 2?
Yeah, are the ones for February too? I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see February
I
2.
don't see February. I don't see it.
Yeah, we may want to table that till next month. It wasn't
Yeah,
included.
I didn't see it.
Okay, then we will table it to next month.
Okay,
All in favor of tabling it until next month? Okay. Do you all know where you can find these minutes? It's on the city website.
Yeah.
Okay. Then is there anything else to do tonight other than you guys getting those comments to me, and you can actually use the rest of the time to do that? If, Diane?
Mr. Chairman, there's a very interesting set of public public listening sessions going on with the Environmental Protection Agency. They are looking at enforcement related to PFAS contamination at Superfund sites. I just got wind of this. I will send to all of you the link if any of you want to listen in, make comments. It's on March 14th on a Tuesday from 1 to 3 p.m. and March 23rd, a Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. One of the reasons why it is of import to our city is that the Kellogg Deering well field is on the Superfund site. Many of you may not know that. Many of you do know this, but some of you may not who are listening. It is the only federal Superfund site in the entire part of Western Connecticut. So I will be listening in, and but I just thought it would be of interest even to those of you that just are interested in PFAS, period.
Appreciate it.
Yes, please. Appreciate that.
So is there a motion to adjourn? Steve, John second. All in favor? See you next month.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Diane, for the links. Appreciate that.
Sure. Bye.
Bye.